Guys, week 4 is over. We just passed the half of the regular season, and the games have been crazy. I'm bringing to you, of course, the game reviews, the most creative set, the trades, the KO leaderboards, the standings. I'm not alone. I'm with my co-hosts.
Maracujavgc, hello, hello, hello. It's very late for us here. It's very early for Darcy. So this is a switch up to our usual recording schedule. So, but I'm happy. I'm happy that to cover the games, and yeah.
And TeaBiscuit, I have just gotten up and stay tuned because there is also a special announcement at the end of this recap that we will
There
get to.
is, there is, yeah.
Beautiful. Love me some exciting thing for the end, so they're forced to watch the whole video.
Yeah, I'm running out of fun facts to put at the intro. You're going to start getting my opinions on tax policy soon.
Oh, can't wait for that.
Can't wait. For tax
I've been
policies.
studying it, so it's on my head.
Okay, guys, we're jumping right in to the first game, which is the
Yeah.
Roaring Moon Ravagers versus the Surfing Asus.
Yeah, I mean let's kick it off. We got Tenryu and Nikita. Something of an upset. You know, Nikita was top of the board at the end of last week. And here, losing to a team that didn't even have a mega. I think there was some great big KOs. We saw Tenryu's Arcanine picking up 2 KOs with the player off into the Hydreigon and Psychic Fangs into the Toxicroak in game 1. Then, starting off game 2, Greninja pulling out the Protean boosted Grass Knot to one-shot Nikita's Mega Swampert. Yeah, it's things did not go well for Nikita right from the off. But I think he played it phenomenally. You know, in game 2 we saw the Trick Room going up from the Mashana, and then setting up Tailwind at the perfect time to try and get an advantage, but unfortunately he just lost too much ground and couldn't bring it back.
Yeah, the game 2 especially was an uphill battle, man. Losing the Mega just turn 1 and trying to climb it back. That's it. I think, in all fairness to Nikita, who is the best player so far, he played a little sloppy there. I was also super scared that Tenryu might just give away all his hidden techs and all his secrets in game 1 when I saw the combo of Play Rough into Psychic Fangs, and I was just like, all right, is everything done? Can it be countered? But showing off that no megas, that you don't need your mega to win. So very happy to see this upset though, because it's just a super, like, very fair league so far. That's super nice.
I loved the non-mega bring. I thought that was really exciting and makes it even more interesting to what the Roaring Moon Ravagers are going to bring in the future. Are they going to bring their megas or they're not going to bring their megas at all? And what I
Yeah.
also thought was really cool, an ability that shines now even more that we don't have Terra anymore is Protein. Because I think it can actually be really good, especially in draft, because you can get a lot of value out of your moves. Like Greninja looked really cool there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm not sure that Graph Knot would have KO'd if it didn't have the stab boost. I haven't calced it, but I know from calcing moves against Nikita from last week that without stab boost, even quad effective moves against Mega Swampert are not a guaranteed KO. So I reckon having that Protean to boost that, give it the stab damage, probably was what allowed Greninja to sort of pull it over the line and ensure it got that KO.
Yeah, for sure. I think there might as always be like also have been a calc with the expert belt involved for it. I think that grass knot
Yeah, it's
with the
expert bird as
protein
well.
should pick up, but I don't know my Swamper calcs. I just know when I try to matcha gotcha, it somehow always lives. So
Yeah,
that boy is bulky as hell.
yeah, it's a very bulky Pokemon. But yeah, I forgot it was expert belt as well. So
All right, guys, let's jump right into the next game. We have the Sleepy Cubones in the Capoeira Kickers.
We have, yeah, and me, I have to just get it off my chest. I thought when I picked Frostless as my S tier in as my first pick, I thought that it has potential. I thought it's a good mon, that it is versatile, that it should be surely good in draft. But man, have I ever been wrong about something? Jesus Christ, I haven't. It's just like the third week where it was just completely unbringable, and yeah, the matchup was nice though. It was a very fun balance game. I know that David is a very good balance player, and I had the luck to prep with him for Utrecht like this spring. So I know he's super strong, and he had some sneaky techs. And yeah, I mean, I made sure that my Pelipper underspeeds everything on his team just to have like a trick room option and just don't get swept by Primarina, because Primarina is just like the queen for him. And game one went according to plan. I was able to just pull off my Surf Raichu, which was nice. Game two, I thought he should show me how he can adjust. So I went with the same game plan. I hovered over the Sap Cannon into Primarina switching just for a second. Uh, Not too long. I should have thought more about it because I got in my head. I predicted something wrong, and I could have called game right then and there. And game three was special, to be fair. I mean, David learned that my Pelipper is the slowest one on the field, and if I have Rain up and Pelipper in Rain with Hurricane, I might as well sweep, because he was also Yachi Berry on Sinistcha, so it was the ice resist, and Hurricane would have gone crazy. But he just said like, I'm going for the call. He does not bring Pelipper, and I didn't, and he won fair and square. It was a very well played game three from him, and overall a super fun set.
I loved watching that set. It was really, really interesting. A lot of back and forth, in my opinion. I love the Mega Absol bring. Very.
That was useless.
Yeah, but I love
yeah,
that
but it
it's
looks
coming
cool.
because it's like you never know what it's gonna do. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's true. That's true.
And I
And
think
what
it
it
got
did
a
was
little bit in your
nothing.
head. Like I watched your reaction to the Mega Absol, and you were nervous a little bit.
Yeah, because I didn't know that it was gonna go special, because it has like 154 attack stat if I'm not mixing anything up. So I was just like, huh, why is this Thunderbolt? But yeah, I was scared. I was scared a little bit, to be fair. Yeah.
I also wouldn't know what Mega Absol even does. So the only thing
Yeah.
I know is the justified beat up strategy. That's the only thing I have ever seen. Well,
But yeah, it was a fun game to watch. So
and that brings us right into game number 3. That will be the Fatalica Tea Rooms versus the Gambit Kings.
right, so you know how Charizard has been like the dominant Mega throughout the entirety of Champions so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Fatalica Tea Rooms have Charizard. And I think that's all we really need to say about this. But in reality, I think I've got to say MVP of this match, from my perspective, was that Tauros Blaze.
Yeah.
We saw game one, Robin leading with Tauros Blaze and regular Metagross, and just both of them putting in the work needed. Tauros getting like 3 of the hang on, let me check. I don't want to get that wrong. I'm the one who put the data in.
Two of the kills in game one.
Tauros getting 2 of the KOs, and then Metagross and Charizard each picking up a KO. Then we saw in game 2 a very even spread for the Fatalica Tea Rooms, with each Pokemon getting 1 KO. Um, and yeah, it just, I mean, game one, it felt like the Gambit Kings just couldn't get anything going. Like the tea room had everything that they needed. Everything was always in control. Game two, it was a little more close. I think that Aerodactyl coming in was able to apply a lot of pressure to the Mega Charizard and eventually take it out. But by the time that Charizard and Leafeon had gone down in game two, both Mimikyu and Aerodactyl were so low that Metagross and Tauros had no issue cleaning them up in the end game.
Yeah, I think the the tier rooms just do a very very good job in just trading correctly, just going for the right trade, prioritizing even just a little chip damage because they know the calcs for the end game, and it's been a very strong showing like for the first 4 weeks of them. And it's not like Charizard is not even their best KO claimer as far as I know. So it's a team effort, and it's just
Yeah.
you don't know what it's gonna be. Sometimes it's Leafeon, it's Metagross that can go big. It's Taurus Blaze, man. We talked trash
Yeah.
about it, and it came
Yeah.
back to bite us. And it's still if you beat all those threats, there's still a Charizard in the back. So very
Yeah.
very strong.
Yeah, I think really the thing with like Charizard not being the best mon on the team, I think what we can say about it is not that Charizard is performing poorly, but more every other mon is performing so well, Charizard isn't needed.
Yeah, exactly.
And on your point of like just getting chip damage when needed, there was the turn where we saw the Leafeon bring out Quick Attack against the Aerodactyl, just chipping it down. I don't know if that was just, you know, Leafeon's going down this turn, so get any sort of damage you can, or if that was, you know, I know it needs to be in this sort of range, but even still, it certainly wouldn't have hurt. Also, Arrow may have been holding Focus Sash, so that's
Yeah.
probably what it was. I just realized.
It was like just making sure the focus hash is
Yeah.
consumed.
Well, spoiler
Right.
alert, we're going to talk about the Taurus set also again a little bit later,
Oh,
which is going to be interesting. And for now, I
Yeah.
think we're going to jump into the next game, which would be the...
Motor City Mux versus the Tiramisu Cafe.
Yes, and man, what a surprise showing.
Yeah.
Very excited that the Tiramisu VGC Cafe are claiming the first win with a 2-0 sweep, and it was very interesting. Again, they love leading Overquill. That is like their favorite Pokemon, it seems, and
Yeah.
Superior. And this time, it just seemed to be working out. I must say, game one, the Paras were definitely on the Tiramisu Cafe side. Those were some nasty full Paras. We had a lead of Superior and Overquill, and we saw the tech of Glare, and they
Yep.
just immediately just full parrot the Annihilate. And we saw the Annihilate do significant damage to that Pokemon, so I don't know if it would have popped up as much as it did, but yeah, I mean, what happened in game one is really just pressing Leaf Storm into everything, getting those boosts, playing around Sucker Punch, Pollen Puff to heal it back up, and really just getting everything into KO range or OKO range with all the boosts that thing was picking up, and it was an absolute sweep on game one. And what happened in game two was an adjustment. Like we saw a Metagross lead on the side of the Tiramisu Cafe, and we had the Trick Room mode of Farigiraf in Kangaskhan to set up that Trick Room to enable the Mega Camerupt. And Mega Camerupt being quite a good answer into the Mega Metagross, somehow the Tiramisu Cafe, there we go. They managed to just position their Pokemon in a way that they perfectly stalled out the Trick Room, and also sacked Superior right in the right moment to then place that Muddy Water and just completely pin the Mega Camera up to the point where they just were without any way of then knocking out that Mega Metagross. So it was just really well positioned, and it was nice to see. A bit unfortunate, I must say, for the Motor City Mux. They have had such a big change in roster. Like we saw the Mega Raichu X, and we saw the
Yes.
Annihilate and the Araquanid in game 1. And I think it's a cool bring, the Mega Raichu X, especially if you're facing Vivillon. But sadly, it didn't quite work out.
I mean, I have to say it, and Kevin knows that I love him, but maybe this has been a slight case of just underestimating your opponent just a little bit, because Tiramisu was on the bottom of the leaderboard, and maybe he felt like, or I don't want to say anything what he thought, but I just felt like watching it that it maybe, of course, there was some RNG involved, but maybe it was a little bit of underestimating your opponent as well. So, but I'm also, I think they came off a win of last week and wanted to capitalize on it, but unfortunately, he has to go big next week.
Yeah, and I gotta say, with the Superior, Glare, if you're using Superior like on ladder, here's a little tip. Use Glare, because it's like the only 100% accurate paralysis move aside from like Nuzzle, and very few Pokemon get it, and paralysis is insanely good. So if you want to use Superior, use Glare, because it's the fastest Pokemon that gets it.
True.
Yeah, Glare definitely looked pretty solid. Also, the Annihilate. I think what happened was really just the lack of speed control on the side, other than Trick Room, on the side of the Motor City Mux, because once Tailwind was placed, it seems like it was close combat on Annihilate, so probably not as bulky as it could be. So if you're sacrificing the bulk, probably would have needed a little bit more speed control on that end. But
Yeah.
no, it was a really nice game from the cafe, and we're excited to see what's to come.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah.
Tiramisu. Nice
Yeah.
performance.
Is this the start of the comeback?
Hopefully.
It's the middle of the season, guys. Everything can still happen. And we're jumping right into...
To my favorite set of the week.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
I was excited playing it. I was scared, and I took away a 2-0 victory with the Home Cuties against the Nothing Creatives. Against Sep, anything can happen. And I was mostly scared when preparing, actually, of the Corviknight, because I just know that thing is so bulky, and if you don't have answers, then it can get really messy. And
Yeah.
he got away with it again, guys. He got away with it again. The Zoroark. I got Zoroarked so hard. I was seeing that Corviknight in lead, and I was immediately panicking a little bit and just protecting to get around the fake outs. And then I see Shadow Ball, and I'm like, what is actually happening?
Yeah.
And I forgot about the Zoroark. Yeah.
The fun part about it is that he even decided to run Unnerve instead of Mirror Armor, so he can show off in game 2 that you absolutely fell for it.
Yeah. And I mean, I clicked Thunderbolt into it, still thinking it's a Corviknight, because I didn't even process the Shadow Ball that much. I don't know why, but it didn't go in my head that it could be a Zoroark. So I got double Mega Zoroark. Luckily, I survived and I was able to bounce back, but that was definitely scary. And yeah, I must say, I didn't bring Trick Room in my build, even though I ran Torkoal, but I just thought he has a lot of very slow Pokemon that would benefit of Trick Room themselves. And I also love just running Heatwave Torkoal, because it doesn't really rely on Trick Room, and you can position it. You can also like run something like Yawn or Helping Hand on it, and it can just it's not just a sitting duck. So I really like playing that. And if he does bring Trick Room, then I have the upper hand with having such a slow Pokemon. And I was just thinking, against the Nothing Creatives, I just bring good moves on good
Nothing
Pokemon.
creative.
And yeah, I must
That's what
say
happened, yeah.
that
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun playing the set, and I was victorious in the end.
I've talked to
Yeah.
Seb a little bit on at our local, and he was completely right. I checked the draft afterwards, and it was just somehow you had all the tools into his team. And what I really loved is just that, like, at one point the Gardevoir was at -2 special attack, and it still did about like 45% to the switch in, which is just absolutely
Yeah.
insane. So even with the light screen on what's it called, the washing machine, the
Yeah.
Rotom,
Rotom.
it's just it was just like an onslaught of damage, and he tried to position, he tried to switch, and of course he also flinched twice in very decisive turns. But yeah, I mean, it was a he had a very 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 uphill battle just from the draft aspect, in my opinion. But also very well played by you, Fievel. This was really super executed. You just understood where the pressure lies, and the way you piloted Torkoal, especially in game one, switching it in onto like a very dead board with just eating a play rough and getting the Will-O-Wisp off was just absolutely perfect.
Thank you so much. It was really
Yeah.
educational listening to your commentary afterwards. Actually, I can recommend it to anyone. Just ask Maracuja to cast your game, and you'll learn some things.
Yeah, I just have to say with the Zoroark, we can't keep letting him get away with it.
No, we have to do something about it.
Like something has to be done about this Zoroark because like all three of us have been tricked by it, either playing or casting the matches or just putting the results into the spreadsheet. All three of us have been tricked by this damn Zoroark, and we need to do something about it.
Yeah, somebody has to make him stop, please.
I just want to say
Yeah.
one thing. Seb mentioned it already in general chat. We can be thankful that choice packs do not exist, because that would be
True.
terrifying stuff.
Yeah.
True, although he could still bring Life Orb Zoroark
Yeah,
because
that
that did win a regional. But
In Australia, right?
yeah, it was Drew Bliss. It was,
Your pick, by the way. Very
yeah,
well.
that was why I picked him. Also because I played him in Melbourne and he kicked my ass, so I was like, I know that he's good.
Awesome. Let's see what's in game 6. We have the
Oh, boy.
Isle Arcanine versus the Galician Magus.
I'll be honest, I fucked up. This was a match where I thought I had an interesting idea, and the idea was interesting, and then I realized a little too late I'd forgotten to give my Pokemon any damage output. So yeah, I got absolutely thumped in both games. My idea was I wanted to try and basically outbulk the Mega Floette and just try and like chip it down with stuff like Leech Seed from Chestnut and Toxic from Salazzle. But in the end, it didn't work because it's really hard to stall out a Pokemon that can output as much damage as Mega Floette and Basculegion. Like,
Yeah.
those two just output so much damage combined that you can't really stall it out. And I mean, the only KOs I took in both games came from Kelpie, my Vaporeon, who is a support piece. So I think that really says all you need to know about how bad my prep was this week. But yeah, fair play to Ruby. He just identified immediately what he needed to do was just the standard game plan of Mega Floette kills everything, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised to not have seen like Tyranitar Excadrill in this matchup, just because
Yeah.
Excadrill with Insand is just such a natural check to Floette.
Hmm.
But maybe there was a little bit of overcooking in the kitchen, and like
Oh,
I've
I burned
talked,
the house down.
yeah, I've talked a little bit to Ruben. He was like he was super scared of Excadrill and the sand mode. And when he saw that there was no sand, he was just like, yeah, that's Floette, that's 2-0. And that's
Hmm.
how it went. It's just Floette is it's just busted. You
Yeah.
can't really do anything against it. It's just absolutely busted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
definitely see the sand mode being really scary into Ruby's team.
Mm,
Like, be doing really well against the Pyroar and having fast answer into the Floette.
Yeah, also
mm,
because the Tailwind setter is Talonflame, which just hates to
mm.
see sand. But I mean, there was a reasoning behind not picking sand. Maybe, I mean,
Yeah.
also if it's just like he expects it and you want to try something
Yeah.
else, which is super fair.
Yeah. Part of it was trying to be like I didn't want it to be too predictable and just bring the standard sand. The other thing was being scared of Talonflame being very fast with the sunny day.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be honest, in my prep, I kind of forgot that Talonflame isn't Prankster because I'm so used to it setting Tailwind with priority. I just went, oh, it gets priority Sunny Day. It doesn't.
it doesn't.
That was a mistake on my part that I realized after the game. Basically, as soon as I finished recording, I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? Sunny Day is a fire type move. Gale Wings doesn't give it priority. So I was scared of that for nothing. And like, no, I would have been able to, fire off like an Iron Head or a Rock Slide with
Yeah,
Excadrill way before Talonflame got to change the weather.
yep.
So yeah, it was just a full I prepped very poorly and Ruby took full advantage of that and wiped the floor with me.
Hey, but that's also a good learning experience for the
Yeah.
second half of the season.
Yeah, yeah, good learning experience. Don't try too hard to be interesting and forget to give your Pokemon damaging moves.
It
Yeah.
happens.
I I am proud of the one thing I am proud of is Cosmic Power on Mega Lopunny. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
Cosmic Power. It's one of my favorite moves. But I needed an attack that did a little more damage. So,
Sometimes we bring
whoops.
Cosmic Power Drain Punch, sometimes we bring Calm Mind Dramper. It is what it is. These things happen.
Yeah.
Okay, we have.
Sometimes we have ideas that just don't work.
Yeah, but that's why we play Draft. And we'll go right
Yeah.
into our last game of the recap. We have the Graceland Greninjas versus the Sangallen Ursalunas.
Yes, and I was super happy to see the Greninja's team. No pun intended. Mine. I just like Meowstic. I think
Yeah.
it's such a fun mon, and it was more of the same of the true and tested for the St. Gallen Ursalunas, just the Leipard Sneasler stuff. We've seen the what's it called, the Lumberry Self Swagger shenanigans, and that's why I loved like the first couple of turns from the Greninja. It was just like, yeah, I'll make sure I get Psychic Terrain up so the Self Swagger does not happen. And it was super neat. And if it would have been Expanding Force over Psychic as the damaging move, the game would have been over immediately. But because it was Psychic, it was still a game. And after two quick KOs, there was just a disaster turn. It's just disaster struck because Grimmsnarl hit the field, and I think I'm saying it in the recap, and I was just like, please don't parting shot in Psychic Terrain. And don't
Yeah.
forget about Psychic Terrain. And they parting shot in Psychic Terrain. And the whole
Yeah.
momentum they've built was just, it was over. And the Ursalunas could regain control and take game one. And maybe after that blunder, Happy was a little bit in their head. And because game two was just Prankster Lumberry. and Sneasler outspeeding everything and just wreaking havoc, and it was over very fast. But I loved the there were some bits and pieces from the Greninjas that were super nice, that were well played, that were interesting. So hope more of that next week.
I'm such a proponent of Gardevoir Trace, but seeing Gardevoir switch in,
Yeah.
copying the snow warning and just enabling
Oh, that
Aurora
was
Veil
so
again was
unfortunate.
so funny.
Yeah, look, I love Trace. It's a great ability. I used to run Trace Porygon 2 over download because I ran a full support P2. I love Trace. It just adds so much chaos to every game. And yeah, seeing Guardy switch in and immediately Trace Snow Warning when it's like, you bring in Rain Sweeper Mega Blastoise and then your opponent has Aurora Veil available now. And it's like, oh, whoops, I've, lost 50% of my damage and also given my opponent the ability to reduce my damage even further. But it didn't end up mattering because Mega Blastoise just outputs so much damage.
Yeah, yeah, Mega Blasters, Mega Blasters. I also have a Trace story with P2 in Regulation H, where I used it once, and I switched in. I had a Rillaboom board, and they switched in like I overridden terrain from Indeedee when I and then I switched in Porygon and went for Fake Out, and I just activated Psychic Terrain with Trace, and I lost both pieces, and I was like, I'm not playing this ever again.
Dude, I love it. I've done the same thing. The worst one for me was tracing a Rillaboom's grassy terrain as my Ursaluna went for Earthquake. So I didn't end
Nice,
up getting the KO on the Incineroar
nice.
because it
Yeah.
cut the Earthquake damage in half.
All
I was
right,
hoping to
guys,
copy Intimidate.
time to talk about the Taurus again because it did actually win the most creative set. This
Congratulations. That was truly
Yeah.
creative.
it's really interesting to me because it's like the cycle of Basque Legion. It's like first there was played Scarf, and now then eventually some people played it more bulky with Citrus. So we've seen all
Yeah.
kinds of Taurus this 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 draft league.
Yeah, and gotta say, Cudchew, very fun ability. Getting the citrus berry a second time, just increasing the longevity of the Tauros even more. Really fun to see. Also, not bringing Intimidate because, of course, going up against that King Gambit, you really don't want to intimidate it. So, not even not even having the option of accidentally boosting that King Gambit. A very good choice.
Yeah, very very nice, guys. There have been a lot of traits we need to address, and we have seen the Galatian Megas dropping their Mega Pyroar and Cleavor, picking up Mega Galate and Rotom Heat. What do you guys think about that? Mega Galate hitting the scene? Very unexpected.
Yeah,
Not Mega
I'm a big
Blade is
fan of
nice.
Mega Gallade.
Yeah. It's just
yeah.
it loses so much damage output when you have to go for the Mega. But you have White Guard, you have
Yeah.
some very interesting sets that you can run.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it loses that much damage because it's still got a really high attack stat. Like, yeah, it doesn't get the sharpness boost on moves like Psycho Card or Sacred Sword, but it's still. I mean, it's one of those Pokemon that you can very easily use both in and out of Mega. So I think it is a very good choice, and is one of those Pokemon that you can bring without needing to Mega Evolve it. And like you said, it gets Wide Guard. It also gets Trick Room.
But
It gets a ton of moves that you can use to give it can play as a support piece or as a sweeper. Yeah, I
it
think
does
it's a
lose
fun
about
pickup.
20% damage. Sacred Sword is a clean one shot on Bulky or Chalodon, and it's just like 81% in the Mega form. So it does lose. I mean, it can go up to 97, but it's just like it loses like 15, 17% on Sacred Sword. So I think it's still that's
Yeah,
a sizable loss.
yeah, it does lose damage on those sharpness boosted moves, but like, I think a lot of people sort of talk about it as if it's like all of a sudden it doesn't do any damage, but it still does a lot of damage. It's just not picking up those
Yeah,
clean one shots.
yeah, and I think there's a vision. Maybe they addressed like a certain need that they have versus the next four opponents. So that's super nice just to get the last trades done.
We also
Yeah.
have the Grace and Ninjas dropping Tyrantrum and Ronan Frost, picking up the freshly dropped Cleavor and Semipore.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sad to see. No, you
You
go.
go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm sad to see Tyrantrum get dropped. I'm a big Tyrantrum fan. Big T-Rex looks sick as hell, but he just wasn't doing anything, and so got dropped.
Yeah, I wanted to say the same thing. I've just saw like Tyrantrum in like the top 20 of the online ranked season ladder in Champions. So with in a scarf set, so it has potential. But yeah, I think
Amazing.
Cleavor with the potential to lay spikes for a Roost Staraptor team is very nice, very interesting indeed.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what?
And
I
they
mean,
said there might be a big change coming,
Yeah,
right?
true. True actually announced something very spicy. And I also want to talk about the Sleeping Cubones dropping Mega Frostlass, picking up Mega Dragonite. And I'm wondering, we have seen so many VGC players playing the pairing of Mega Frostlass and Mega Dragonite, but you decided to go with Raichu because is it because you never felt like you could bring Frostless at all?
Look, I've played Frostless for the last couple of weeks at locals and on the ladder, and there was a time where it was like good for like 2, 3, or 4 days, but it just loses so hard into the most common months, and because it is a threat with the weather, it is simply. I mean, I had a really hard time bringing it the first 4 weeks. I think I brought it week 1, and I haven't even fielded it on the later weeks. So I think with Mega D Knight, and because I picked up Pelipper, I do have more of a glorified rain mode that I could use
yeah,
potentially, and that was the reasoning. I just felt like it doesn't Frostless doesn't give me the creativity or the bulk that I need, and just having like a really just a tank with multi-scale just to switch into anything for a little bit of pivoting action. That's just the way I like to play the game. So I hope it can save my season. To be fair, because I am in the gutters, my friends. Let me tell you that.
Guys, it's the middle of the season, everything's possible. The upswing is coming. I can sense it.
yeah. I do want to let you know that if there's an upswing, there's also a downswing. So there's just as much chance of me and Maracuja ending top of the board as there is of you ending bottom of the board.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. We have the KO leaderboards and
Holy is Floette.
yeah, it's
What did I
flat.
say?
Crazy.
It ran over me.
It fainted
14
0 times.
0. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not fainted a single time is insane.
And only 6 games played. Like,
Yeah,
literally, that's crazy.
yeah.
Who would have thought?
And,
Oh, yeah, everyone.
Yeah, one of the most powerful Pokemon in the game is doing really well.
But it got picked up very late in the draft for Ruby to get it. I mean, it was like the 5th or the 6th,
Yeah.
7th pick. So,
In
had the
fairness,
chance.
I think like half the people in the draft don't even have it because
That's fair.
we haven't actually gone through the process of getting it in ZA or just don't have ZA.
Yeah,
That's super valid.
it's
yeah.
actually
But
also
it
interesting.
is putting in work and heavy
Yeah.
work at that. I mean, Sneasler as well is going crazy. Primarita, that I already mentioned, is crazy. Gardevoir had a super strong showing. Armarouge was not very nice. Blastoise is back on top. Azumarill we haven't seen, so it's been a bit of a mix-up. And we also have Charizard Y on the rise. We have Basculegion like looming in 14th place.
Yeah.
It's just like all the chaos that Floette didn't get. There is a Scarf Basculegion that will pick it up. So that's a super nice duo.
So many fairy types in the top too. Like we have 3 of the top 4 are fairy types.
Yeah. And
Yes.
if we expand that out to the top 10, we've got one. And if we expand that out to the top 10, then half of the top 10 are fairy types.
That's wild.
Floette, Prim, Guardy, Azumarill, Mawile.
Yeah,
And
that's nice.
the standings are the following. In first place, new top of the leaderboard are the Galician Megas with the Floette being 1 point ahead of the the second, third, and the fourth place. That would be the Hoenn Cuties, the Sangal Ursalunas, and the Vitality Tea Rooms. Not in that order. Actually, I started with myself for some reason.
You went backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we have a very strong midfield. Like we have,
yes.
I don't think like season 1 was this close with so many 3-1s, so many 2-2s, and of course the 1-3. So it is still most of the things are open. So we might see some switch up in the coming weeks. I think like if you look at the bottom half, like Nothing Creative, Capoeira Kickers as well. Gambit Kings, semifinalists last year. They all have the potential, and they might as well just all be like 5-3 at the end and claiming top cut. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's have a look at the schedule for next week. We see week 5 right here. We have the Surfing Asus versus VGC Cafe, Tiramisu Cafe. We have
We'll get it right one day.
Yeah, the Sangal Nursalunas versus the Motor City Mugs. The Gambit Kings versus the Galician Megas. We have the... I'm never sure. I'm always confusing Robin and David. Which one is David? The
David is the Capoeira Kicker.
Capoeira Kickers versus Graceland Greninjas. We have the 2 hosts. The Apple Isle Arcanine versus the Sleepy Cubones. And we have the Nothing Creators versus Vitality Tea Room. And the Roaring Moon Ravagers versus the Hoenn Cuties. I definitely know which game I'm looking forward to most, which would be the 2 hosts, obviously.
Yeah, and happening right at the end of the week, so there's lots of time to get hyped for what will inevitably be me losing a 2-0.
We'll see about that. I mean, dropping Frostlass was also something that I considered because I was like, yeah, I'm not bringing Frostlass into Sand, so...
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I was looking at it, and I saw you drop the Frostlass, and I was like, oh, well, I'm glad I don't have to fight the Frostlass, because it can be scary, but also I don't think it was going to come, because Negatetar just has an absolute ball with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Frostlass, I would have never brought Frostlass, and so yeah, maybe I bring D-Knight, who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
I haven't had time to really build, but I'm locking in. I have to really show that I am champion of season 1, and then that have something that I can like prove myself. Because it's getting fraudulent in here for the Sleepy Cubones.
Alright guys, we were promised a big reveal at the end of the video.
Yes.
Yeah. We do have, well, I have an announcement. I'm sorry, Maracuja, you will actually not be facing the Apple Isle Arcanines this week, because there's been a rebrand. I am going to be now playing under a new team. I think we can put the logo on screen now.
Hell yeah.
Brand new team, or new team name, the Elden Earthquake. Everything's staying the same. I just wanted to change the name. And I think I cooked on the logo.
Yeah, you definitely did.
It is on the screen right now. Elden Earthquake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is some sauce. I love Tyranitar. I love it
Yeah.
with the Zelda
Do you want to explain
mix
a little
up.
Yeah.
bit what's happening? The logo.
Yeah, so I did have to explain to these two. Eldin is a region of Hyrule in The Legend of Zelda, specifically the region where you will find Death Mountain and the Gorons. So in the logo, that is Death Mountain behind Tyranitar, who is, wearing the outfit and holding the sword used by Daruk, the champion of the Gorons from Breath of the Wild. So that's what I went with there. And the Earthquake name was just because of I just wanted the alliteration, and it's
Yeah,
a move that Tyranitar gets. So
perfect. You can never go wrong with an alliteration.
yeah. Also, that Tyranitar sprite is from Pokemon Conquest, which has some absolutely insane sprites.
Yeah, Tyranitar is a sick mascot. All right, guys. I think that wraps it up for today's episode.
Yeah.
So we'll be uploading this around midnight for the Swiss guys, and I wish you all
Yeah.
a good night, and to all the other time zoners, enjoy this to whatever time you feel like.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See you
All right,
guys
have a
next
great
week.
night.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.